Hello, good people. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're doing fine. Okay, another day to talk about some sensible things that are going to help us in our day to day life and our day to day dealings. Today is a good day. I hope you're also doing fine. Your different corners, I hope you're doing well. Today, I want us to look at communication trash can. Communication trash can, yes. I want us to look at communication trash can. And before we look at that, let us just briefly look at what is communication, like in my own definition, in a layman way of me defining communication. I take communication as talking and listening between two people, which it can be through face to face talking, it can be through phones, it can be through messages, it can be through social media, it can be through any means, it can be through this means that I'm also doing this. That is communication. Communication means you talk and you listen. Yes, that is communication. Communication is all about you talking and then you don't listen. So I'm expecting to be communicating anytime I post a video, because I'm expecting to listen to my followers, to listen to anyone who get across my video or my messages, to tell me something that I need to take out of my own giving out. So that is communication to me. So in communication, there must be somebody who is listening and there's another person who is talking. We are getting it. There should be somebody who is listening and there should be somebody who is talking. So when two people are communicating, it means that there is a giving out and there's a receiving. Yes, at a point there's always a receiving point and there's a giving point, and it goes the two way. It's a bygone kind of thing. You need to talk and you need to also listen. So when you finish talking, you need to get back your feedback from somebody who is also listening to you. So communication is one of the most essential attitude that individuals has to practice in this our day-to-day life. In whatever domain where you are, you must practice communication. Communication has helped to build so many things, so many empires, so many companies are built today because of communication. This many marriages are being strong today, or they are moving forward because of communication. So we need to use this word, or we need to practice this particular word in our day-to-day life. So if you have not been communicating, you need to start communicating. When I mean if you have not been communicating, means that if you have not been talking and listening, then you have to look at where your lapses are and then try to step up. So we need to practice communication in our day-to-day life. So when we talk of communication and then I come in with a topic, communication trash can, it means that in communication, during talking, so many things are always being said. You understand? So many things are always being said. But then now, you who is at the receiving point at that point when there is a talking, it's not everything that you need to take. You understand? It's not everything that you need to take in. There are some things that you don't take. They are not. What do I mean? There are some things that are not important. There are some things that are like uh I'm sorry to say useless, because anything you need to trash is something that is not important, is not useful at the moment. Like for example, when you have materials, when you gather things, materials, and you put them in place, you look at those things that are useful within the materials and you keep them safe. And those ones that are not useful, you do what, you trash them. So even in communication, we need to have a trash can, because during communication you will see people get hurt, you will see people get disappointed, you see people being moved, you see people being motivated, you see people being challenged. So in so it's the same way that you see those hurts or those things that are not important to you. What do you do with them? And those are things that when you practice to have a trash can, it will also help you to have a kind of view about certain things that people may feel that you'll be hurt about, and then at the end of the day you move on smiling, and they'll be wondering, why are you smiling as such? So one thing I want us to look at in that communication trash can is that when you're discussing with someone, because in the midst of many words, some words are always said that are hurtful, they're useless. Just imagine, for example, you're at your job site, and then you're being approached by maybe a colleague, and then that colleague is talking maybe about a situation that happened, and then you are to you, and the colleague doesn't like try to get your point, and then the colleague is just talking out, and then at the long run you just discover that there is a kind of like a misunderstanding. The words are not arranged. I don't know, the words are not arranged in a way that is pleasing to your ear. What I want you to understand is that there's a scenario where you need to understand that you and that colleague are spending more time together. For example, for those who know, in a normal labor code, we work 8 hours a day. And so if you're working 8 hours a day, you have that colleague who is always going to be there for 8 hours, maybe for 5 days in the week, or for 6 days in the week with you in that particular office, in that particular area. And so you cannot do without that colleague. And so you cannot do without that person. You definitely need that person around, and then you definitely need the you always see that person. So what I want you to understand is that that's you that dustbin, that trash can that you have around you in that communication area within that colleague, is that those things that he or she is saying that is not pleasant to you. What you need to do is you gather them like this, and then you trash them down. Yes, you trash them down. You put them in the dustbin, and then you keep listening to those pleasant ones. Anyone that comes out is not pleasing, you trash it. You trash it. And then after the communication, you will discover that you're not hurt. Even though you were, maybe the colleague was expecting to see you hurt or respond with some anger and stuff like that. And then at the end of it, you are like, okay, thank you, I've heard. And then the colleague is, wow, oh what I said. And then she's just like that, or he's just okay about it. So communication trash can help us so much to move on, to stop building hurt and building that is that kind of enmity life. Yes, it will help us to move on out of the enmity life. And it is one of the things that also make you to know that you're getting matured in your day-to-day life, and in your way of spiritual growth. Because when you are able to move out of such environment, such tense environment with a smile, it it heals. It makes you feel so uh fulfilled within you. So we need to have a communication trash can. So it's not everything that when they say you must store it within you, and it help to take away the spirit of revenge. Yes, when you are able to trash all those things, it help to take away the spirit of revenge, because you when you trash, you discard, right? So if you don't have that communication, you are forced to store it within you, and after some time it surfaces, and you are forced to do what? Get to revenge. You start thinking of how to revenge back, and revenge is not a good thing. Revenge is not a good thing. I said you have 8 hours maybe together, or even is your husband, or is your sister, or a friend, that you will still meet. If you need to move on, because after that you have to look for a way to revenge, and revenge is a very bad seat. If you are not able to trash, you will be forced to do what? To keep enmity. That's why you see sometimes some people pass without greeting each other. You see people pass without talking to each other. They care less about one another. It's because we don't always practice the communication trash can. We don't use it. We don't use our trash can in communication very well. We don't trash them. We keep them. And after that, you yourself, you are like you're living in bondage. It also hurt personally. You live in bondage because at every time you feel like you're in prison, because you have so many negative build up words within you. X said this person said that, this happened, this I'm going to work on this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when you trash them, you are more matured, you're more spiritual upright. When you trash them, your life is filled with joy, you're filled with happiness, and that's how your lifespan as well increases. So we need to practice communication trash can. We need to be able to build our trash can when we are communicating. I've seen scenario where colleagues are unable to work as a team because of just a single word somebody used to you, that maybe you have decided that until I revenge that colleague, I will not be arrested. And you discover that even you yourself, you are not yourself, because anytime you see that person, you're tense, you're like you're angered. Yes. So we need to move on. We need to learn how to trash things that are not useful to us, because it will also help us to do what? To increase our lifespan. It will make you to be a joyful somebody. It will help you to work better. It will help teamwork to move. It will help the family to grow. It will help us to generate a good environment for forward coming together, where we will not have grudges, where we will know that we are all human. Sometimes somebody may hurt you without even knowing. So we need to be very careful. We need to be watchful. Let's practice it. Let's practice it. Trash every word that is useless to you. Trash any statement that is not meant for you, because you need to stay healthy. You need to maintain a healthy relationship, and you need to keep moving. Thank you.